The pain of not being loved as you deserve is a deeply rooted emotional experience that resonates profoundly within those who repeatedly find themselves in unsatisfying or incomplete relationships. It is an aching sensation that often feels inexplicably familiar, as though you are continually reliving the same disappointment in different situations or with different people. This form of emotional pain is subtle yet pervasive, whispering internal messages of inadequacy and unworthiness that undermine your sense of self. Despite efforts to find genuine love, acceptance, and appreciation, you might consistently feel overlooked, undervalued, or emotionally neglected, fueling a cycle of inner frustration and sadness that is challenging to break. What makes this pain uniquely persistent is its quiet ability to infiltrate your subconscious beliefs, influencing your choices without your conscious awareness. You might find yourself drawn again and again to partners who cannot fully meet your emotional needs, who mirror past experiences of emotional neglect, or who confirm deep-seated fears of being fundamentally unlovable. Rather than recognizing the external manifestation as a reflection of unresolved internal wounds, you may instead internalize rejection, feeling somehow responsible for the inadequacy or incompleteness of the love received. This misinterpretation amplifies feelings of loneliness, creating a vicious cycle where emotional fulfillment continually remains just beyond reach. Furthermore, the experience of not being loved adequately often breeds a sense of confusion and self-doubt. You might find yourself questioning whether your expectations of love and relationships are unrealistic, or if perhaps you demand too much from others. This internalized confusion can cause you to diminish your own emotional needs, accepting far less than you deserve out of fear that genuine, unconditional love simply does not exist, or worse, that you yourself are not deserving of it. Over time, these internal conflicts erode your confidence, leading to a diminished sense of self-worth that subtly informs future relationship decisions, keeping you trapped in this emotionally painful pattern. Yet, beneath the immediate sense of heartache and frustration lies an opportunity for growth and deeper understanding. Recognizing this particular kind of pain as an indication of deeper, unresolved emotional patterns is the first crucial step toward healing. According to the insights of psychologist Jung, the repetitive nature of this suffering is not merely coincidental. It is an invitation from the subconscious mind to examine the deeper wounds or unmet emotional needs formed earlier in life. By viewing your emotional pain through this lens, you begin the important work of disentangling yourself from self-sabotaging beliefs and patterns. Ultimately, the pain of not receiving the love you genuinely deserve serves as a powerful emotional catalyst. It is meant not to punish or limit you, but rather to awaken you to the reality of your internal landscape and encourage you to confront and heal those hidden emotional wounds. Understanding this transforms pain from a perpetual burden into a meaningful invitation toward self-awareness, emotional maturity, and authentic self-love, opening the door to healthier, more fulfilling relationships in the future. According to Carl Jung, the renowned Swiss psychologist and pioneer in analytical psychology, the persistent experience of not being loved as you deserve can often be traced back to unconscious complexes and deep emotional wounds formed during childhood or significant past experiences. Jung viewed the psyche as an intricate interplay of conscious and unconscious elements, emphasizing that unresolved inner conflicts profoundly shape one's relationship choices, perceptions, and behaviors. In this context, the experience of repeatedly feeling undervalued or unloved in romantic relationships is typically not random or coincidental. Instead, it mirrors unresolved internal beliefs and patterns deeply embedded within your subconscious. Jung argued that early relationships, especially those formed with parents or primary caregivers, create foundational emotional templates that govern how you later approach love and intimacy. For example, if your emotional needs were frequently unmet, neglected, or inadequately addressed in childhood, you may unconsciously internalize a belief that you are undeserving of genuine love, respect, and care. These beliefs do not merely reside passively in your subconscious mind, but actively influence your attraction toward partners who mirror or reinforce your emotional history. Unknowingly, you may find yourself gravitating toward individuals who, through their emotional unavailability or insensitivity, subtly validate your underlying belief about your worthiness, thus perpetuating emotional patterns established early in life. Jung further emphasizes the role of unconscious complexes, clusters of emotions, memories, and perceptions that arise around significant unresolved experiences as key factors perpetuating these painful relationship patterns. A complex, such as one centered around abandonment, rejection, or inadequacy, becomes activated when triggered by current relationships that mirror these original wounds. For instance, an abandonment complex may cause you to unconsciously seek partners who are distant, unavailable, or inconsistent in their affection, inadvertently recreating scenarios reminiscent of past abandonment experiences. The familiar pain of emotional neglect or rejection, paradoxically, might feel more comfortable or predictable to your subconscious than healthy intimacy, leading you to repeatedly choose situations that confirm the validity of your unconscious beliefs about love. Moreover, Jung highlights the significance of projection in understanding these relationship dynamics. Projection occurs when aspects of your subconscious, fears, insecurities, or unmet emotional needs, are unconsciously assigned to another person. Through projection, your unresolved inner issues are externalized onto your partner, making it difficult to clearly distinguish between genuine emotional connection and unconscious emotional reenactment. For example, you might unknowingly project your feelings of inadequacy onto a partner, interpreting their neutral behavior as rejection or indifference, reinforcing your original wound and intensifying your emotional pain. In Jung's psychological framework, the path to resolving these repetitive cycles of emotional suffering involves consciously acknowledging and confronting these unconscious dynamics. This requires a willingness to explore deeply buried memories, beliefs, and emotional wounds that shape your perceptions of love and intimacy. By bringing awareness to these unconscious forces, you begin to understand their powerful influence on your relationship choices and patterns. Jung believed that this self-awareness, the cornerstone of emotional healing, enables you to reclaim your emotional autonomy, breaking free from painful relationship cycles and opening a pathway toward authentic intimacy, genuine connection, and the deep sense of being truly valued and loved as you deserve. Carl Jung emphasized the concept of the shadow as a pivotal aspect in understanding why people continually repeat patterns of painful, unfulfilling relationships. The shadow represents the unconscious part of our psyche, containing repressed feelings, unresolved fears, insecurities, shame, and negative beliefs about ourselves that we rarely acknowledge openly. These hidden aspects are usually formed in childhood or during significant experiences that we have perceived as hurtful, shameful, or traumatic. Jung asserted that until the shadow is consciously recognized and integrated, it continues to influence our decisions, perceptions, and emotional reactions, often in ways that sabotage our efforts at finding genuine love and satisfaction. When the shadow remains unconscious, you unwittingly seek out or attract relationships and situations that repeatedly trigger your deepest wounds. You might unknowingly choose partners who emotionally neglect you, reject you, or treat you inadequately, reflecting unconscious beliefs about your own worth or desirability. Each painful repetition of these patterns reactivates your shadow, intensifying feelings of inadequacy, abandonment, or rejection, reinforcing a negative self-image and perpetuating your emotional suffering. Rather than recognizing these experiences as an opportunity for self-exploration, you may become trapped in cycles of blame, resentment, or despair, further entrenching these unconscious wounds within your psyche. According to Jung, the shadow operates silently, influencing your life without your conscious awareness. You may not understand why you continually gravitate toward relationships that replicate the same emotional struggles, or why you keep attracting partners who seem emotionally unavailable or detached. Instead, you perceive these occurrences as random or mere bad luck, unaware that your shadow is actively seeking confirmation of your hidden negative self-beliefs. This process occurs because your unconscious mind is drawn toward familiarity, even when that familiarity brings pain. Unresolved emotional wounds stored in the shadow often compel you to unconsciously recreate familiar emotional dynamics, as these are predictable, even if hurtful, and thus feel paradoxically comfortable or safe to your subconscious mind. Confronting the shadow, therefore, is essential to breaking the cycle of emotional pain and unfulfilling relationships. Jung argues that this involves courageously acknowledging and accepting the existence of painful, shameful, or uncomfortable truths about oneself. Rather than denying or avoiding the shadow, Jung suggests directly engaging with it through self-reflection, emotional introspection, and honest acknowledgement of these deeper feelings. By facing and understanding your shadow, you begin to integrate the unconscious elements of your psyche into conscious awareness, thereby gaining greater emotional clarity and self-control. This process of shadow integration, although initially challenging, provides profound emotional liberation. Instead of unconsciously repeating painful cycles, you gain the power to recognize your emotional triggers, consciously choose healthier partners, and establish relationships based on mutual respect, emotional availability, and genuine intimacy. Understanding your shadow transforms it from a hidden source of sabotage into a powerful tool for emotional growth and deeper self-awareness. Ultimately, by confronting and integrating the shadow, you free yourself from unconscious patterns of suffering, opening the door to authentic self-acceptance and the genuine, fulfilling relationships you truly deserve. Carl Jung proposed that the key to breaking free from repetitive cycles of emotional pain and unsatisfying relationships lies in a profound journey known as individuation, a deep process of self-discovery and psychological integration. Individuation refers to the lifelong path toward becoming one's authentic self by consciously uniting the conscious and unconscious parts of the psyche. This transformative journey is essential for anyone struggling with the recurring pain of not feeling adequately loved, valued, or emotionally fulfilled. Rather than looking outwardly for validation or fulfillment, Jung's concept of individuation directs attention inward, emphasizing that genuine healing begins by fully understanding and integrating your inner emotional landscape. In Jungian psychology, individuation begins with self-awareness and self-reflection. It requires you to explore and understand the unconscious patterns, beliefs, complexes, and wounds that influence your choices and shape your emotional reactions. By courageously facing your inner experiences and emotions, especially those you might have suppressed, denied, or ignored, you initiate a dialogue with your unconscious. This inner dialogue illuminates the unseen emotional drivers behind your decisions, revealing why certain relationship patterns consistently recur in your life. Such honest self-exploration helps you recognize the roots of emotional wounds and begin the necessary work of emotional healing. The individuation process often involves exploring dreams, symbols, and personal narratives, which Jung believed provide valuable insights into unconscious conflicts and desires. Dreams, in particular, offer a window into the unconscious, highlighting unresolved emotional issues or guiding you toward greater self-understanding. Through carefully examining your dreams, thoughts, and emotional triggers, you start to uncover patterns, beliefs, and hidden emotions that have influenced your past relationship choices. Becoming conscious of these patterns provides clarity and the necessary emotional leverage to disrupt negative cycles of emotional suffering. Additionally, individuation emphasizes the integration of your shadow, acknowledging and accepting parts of yourself that you might find uncomfortable or shameful. Jung stressed that fully embracing your shadow is crucial to achieving emotional balance and psychological wholeness. Rather than denying uncomfortable truths about yourself, individuation requires embracing these parts with compassion and acceptance. By integrating these previously rejected aspects, you reclaim emotional energy and authenticity, enhancing your capacity for genuine connection with others. The process of individuation also leads to greater emotional autonomy and empowerment. As you become more self-aware, you no longer feel compelled to seek validation or emotional security externally. Instead, you become rooted in a solid sense of self-worth that emerges from within, independent of external approval. Jung emphasized that this internal sense of emotional security is essential for creating healthy, balanced and reciprocal relationships, grounded not in dependency or unconscious emotional reenactments, but in mutual respect, authenticity, and emotional maturity. Ultimately, the journey of individuation profoundly changes your relationship with yourself and others. By consciously integrating your conscious and unconscious worlds, you develop the emotional strength, clarity, and maturity needed to create fulfilling, authentic relationships. Individuation allows you to recognize your intrinsic worth and approach relationships from a place of emotional wholeness, clarity, and genuine self-love. This internal transformation ends the painful repetition of emotional neglect or unfulfilled expectations, guiding you toward relationships built upon mutual respect, emotional availability, and genuine love, the kind of love you truly deserve. Carl Jung proposed that the solution to the cycle of emotional pain from repeatedly feeling unloved lies in a process called individuation, a profound psychological journey of self-discovery and inner integration. Individuation represents the transformative journey toward becoming your authentic self by bringing the unconscious elements of your psyche into conscious awareness. This process allows you to uncover the hidden reasons behind recurring relationship disappointments and emotional struggles, moving toward genuine healing and emotional growth. The individuation journey begins with cultivating deep self-awareness and introspection. Rather than attributing your emotional dissatisfaction entirely to external factors or partners, Jung encourages you to turn inward, seeking the source of your pain within unconscious patterns, complexes, and emotional wounds. Through honest self-exploration, you begin to uncover the hidden beliefs and memories that subconsciously influence your romantic choices and emotional responses. Recognizing these inner drivers is a crucial step toward breaking unhealthy relationship patterns, as awareness empowers you to consciously redirect your decisions and emotional reactions. A central aspect of individuation involves exploring symbolic insights from dreams, fantasies, and emotional triggers. Jung believed that dreams, in particular, serve as a direct connection to your unconscious, illuminating unresolved emotional conflicts or unmet emotional needs. By analyzing and interpreting these symbols, you gain clarity about the deeper emotional wounds influencing your relationships. This understanding enables you to recognize patterns that perpetuate feelings of emotional neglect or rejection, offering an opportunity to consciously address and heal these unresolved emotional issues. Integrating the shadow, those uncomfortable, suppressed parts of yourself, is also fundamental to individuation. Jung argued that emotional wholeness requires facing and accepting your shadow aspects, including hidden fears, insecurities, and negative beliefs about yourself. Rather than denying these difficult truths, individuation invites you to embrace them compassionately. Integrating your shadow allows you to reclaim emotional authenticity and reduces the unconscious drive to project these unresolved feelings onto your partners. Ultimately, the individuation process empowers you with emotional autonomy, shifting your focus from external validation to internal emotional stability. As you become more psychologically integrated, your self-worth strengthens, allowing you to form relationships grounded in genuine intimacy, mutual respect, and emotional maturity. By undertaking the path of individuation, you not only free yourself from the pain of repeatedly feeling unloved, but also establish a deeper, more fulfilling connection with yourself, setting the foundation for truly healthy and loving relationships.